on this guy, AAT, but you try to have a discussion with the guy in Vermont, it's dismal. He doesn't know anything about politics. He doesn't know anything about science. He doesn't know anything about anything, but he sells himself as being a master's degree in something.
K1LEM.
So I go up there and I try to have a decent conversation with him, and finally he knows that I've sifted him, and I know that he's the emperor without clothes, and then so he turns on wit. Isn't that what happens to me on this frequency every day? Stanley, with your religious underpinnings or whatever you want to call it, there's certain things about it, I've got to agree with you. I mean, the filthiness of human beings. They can't even come clean with themselves, and they can't tell the truth to themselves, and they can't control their sexuality. They can't control.
We're steering this discussion into another direction now.
Like a fearsome animal, and it is a really dirty, dirty creature. It's like a dog, a dirty creature, Stanley. K1LEM.
Well, I'm not going to change the subject there. I'm going to try to go back there.
This is the subject.
We could maybe have that kind of discussion offline or later.
Yeah, but that's a given, Whit. That's a given that human beings are, depraved to some extent, and they act on a self-aggrandizing platform.
Okay, so anyway, the second point, though, is really goes back to Peter's point. That is not beyond the weapons of mass destruction. This other point, why isn't Bush, why haven't they been arrested? To me, that's such an obvious question.
Oh, you're going to throw Obama into that same docket.
Like Obama, that just got through, they're just like Obama. Okay, who just got through being the best president money could bribe. Obama absolutely hates war. He, at a personal level, but yet he's just now invaded Syria with U.S. troops when he vowed that he would never put any troops on the ground. Okay?
I suppose you'd want Sarah Palin in office.
It's obvious.
We're not talking about people who are aspiring to office, or people who are in office making decisions that we have to live with.
Yeah, let's put Sarah Palin
in jail along with him maybe is a better question.
Curly and Larry.
He's doing exactly the same agenda. It's about the best money the government money can bribe, and and this money that's worth nothing that these banks that finance this agenda, this pernicious agenda, whereby the United States became a broker. Just like the Rothschilds in England have been brokers for arms to other nations and started up wars all over the place. And the more war we have in the Middle East, the weaker any oil emirates are or anybody else, and the more we can remarket their oil and take the profits from them. Why aren't these guys in jail? It's because the American people are, Peter calls them stupid land, I call them depraved land. They love stolen bread, eaten off the backs of other nations, and they're enjoying the fruits of...
the American people have had their own government taken away from them.
Hey, listen, Whit, if you want to, I guess we get a feel for this philosophy or this theory, you should look for a movie, The Day of the Condor, with Robert Redford. The Day of the Condor. Are you familiar with that film?
Yeah, but not quite.
Yeah, the movie is called The Day of the Condor, where Robert Redford plays a analyst. I think he's a CIA analyst in New York, and they're doing basically very mundane stuff. He's not an agent, he's an analyst, and he's analyzing oil and the politics in the region for oil extraction and such, and he uncovers a conspiracy, and the government tries to assassinate him at every turn. And the end of the movie is very, very telling, and it's actually very poignant, and it basically tells the story that is still very valid even up to this day, even though that movie was made in the 70s. It's called The Day of the Condor. It's something that's worth looking at. Of course, it throws a little romance in there as well. I think, what's her name? Diane Keaton, I think. I'm trying to remember who the other counterpart is in the movie. but it's a movie worth looking at. It's about oil and the government's involvement with the oil industry and the Middle East, etc. KC2QYM.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, this is basically what we've had post Dwight David Eisenhower. And hasn't it been Eisenhower, a Republican, the last probably respectable Republican with any morality that ever was in the White House? Didn't he, in some of his final days, get up and warn about the industrial complex and how that it was so large that he, even as President of the United States, could not control it? And he was warning the American people about it collectively because the executive officer leaving office realized that you may put a lot of power in me and believe that I have the power to do all these things, but he said it's grown so large that I can do nothing about it. It's like a cancerous growth.
Yeah, but the presidents subsequent to that have all made a pact with the devil to go along with that directive.
Yeah, exactly, and it's been more and more and more and more, and the PBS show that was on, I guess it was a couple weeks ago, it so shows that the United States even lied about Vietnam. We were involved with Vietnam way, way back, even in the 50s, and even when the French were trying to reignite their colonial foot in Southeast Asia, we were secretly helping them.
Well, governments are not moral creatures. Governments do not, by themselves as entities, execute moral judgment and character, Whit.
Well, they certainly don't. There's nothing moral about it. They're psychopathic, absolutely psychopathic. And I would also go to say that these Christians like Huckabee and these phony people that stand up and they believe that they're Christian and God's spoken into their left ear and all this other stuff. They are psychopaths also, but psychopaths just with a different agenda. So I mean, what is the hope for the world? It isn't very good, is it? It isn't very good. We're teetering toward World War III, whether we like it or not. I hope I'm dead before then. I mean, I hope the war doesn't take me out.
I hope you're dead too.
But those young folks that are out there today, you live in a world which will be crippled and broken. Believe me, and there's nothing that can stop it. Anyway, K1LEM.
Hey, Whit, I have a question for you. Do you think that one day, this is KC2QYM, that one day, when all the crap hits the fan and we have a failure of civil society and insurrection in this country, that the 37th Inman Volunteers, South Carolina Volunteers, are going to knock on your door and ask you to join the regiment? Over?
Oh boy. Oh God. You would get me going. You're trying to pull one, Peter, because you know that's something that you're trying to tickle me into getting involved in this Second Amendment crap. But believe me, civil societies, I think, when they can be trusted, don't need a Second Amendment. You don't need citizens with guns. You don't need a lot of imbeciles running around with firearms like my neighbor and people like that claiming he gave blood for his country. I mean, this guy is a nutcase. He's an IQ well below 100 psychopath. So you have all these people. I mean, I honestly wonder what's going to happen when the day comes where you have a police force infiltrated with psychos. We seem to be seeing that in the media right now, right? With all this bad stuff going on, the police hate black people, and black people hate police. We're going to riot. We're going to take out Baltimore, Maryland, and third. What's the next thing? What's the next big one, bro? And then we have what's his name there? I can't think of his name. It's too early in the morning. his daughter in New York City, she says she fell on her ass when she was crossing the street, and now she's suing New York City for $5 million, and yet she and her boyfriend were shown hiking, and oh, she's so disabled. You talk about people of the ilk of that gaining popularity in the black community, and his running around in a raccoon coat and pretending to be a civil rights agent. I mean, it's really ridiculous. Nobody really knows who their friend is, and to tell you the truth, you can't tell your friend by the color of their skin, and this is exactly what Sharpton is saying. If you got black skin, I can trust you. You got white skin, I can't trust you. Hey, you got black skin, I can't trust you. I ain't no racist. And my daughter, she did have her ass broken on the street of New York City, and we're going to get our money. We're going to get $5 million out of that one. You know, Al Sharpton. I mean, what a fantastic model for civil rights. K1LEM.
Yeah, but really, again, Rich, think about it. This is one thought. Think how many times Sharpton has been to the White House as a confidant to Obama. And what does that say about Obama's character? That Sharpton has slept in the Lincoln bedroom more times than Lincoln ever did. Go ahead, Stanley, KC2QYM.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible that he would be on Oprah Winfrey, and he would. You see, this is the psychology, Peter, of your skin. We can trust all you people as long as you've got skin that matches ours. You got chocolate skin. I don't care what you all done. Yeah, you're going to be one of our most trusted, wonderful people. You got that vanilla skin. You're a white trash piece of crap. We ain't going to do nothing with you at all. And you see, that's the kind of low-level. I'm trying to think of it. Not propaganda. It's worse than propaganda. That low-level, less than 100 IQ type people get into, because all they have to do is emote. All they got to do is look you straight in the face and see if you're either black or you're white, and then they define you as either my enemy or my friend. And we got that on the white side too. You got black skin, you a nigga. That's what you are. You nigga. That's what you are. You see, the whole country's falling apart. Like I said. Amateur radio's falling apart, like I said. But let's not go to the amateur radio part, because, Peter, I wanted to tell you something really funny, though. Both of you guys would like this. Some of you have to be, it's relevant to amateur radio, but when you get done talking your politics, then I'll tell you the story. K1LEM, Echo-Mike.
Yeah, K1LEM, KC2QYM. Well, real quick, and then we'll bring Stanley into this, because I know he's chomping at the bit. Well, again, with the Sharpton issue, so don't you figure that Obama has had a hand, continues to have a hand in the relevance of Sharpton and his career? Obviously, he got an MSNBC, position as a talk show host. I mean, I know Sharpton's history from New York City, of growing up and experiencing Sharpton's rhetoric and his actions here in New York City way before he became a national figure. And we know Sharpton very well in this part of the woods, and he is he's a race baiter. He's a rabble rouser. He's an agitator, and of the worst kind. And yet, shouldn't that say something? You don't have to answer this, but just think about it. When we talk about the foibles of Bush and the two Bushes and Republican administrations, etc., we have to add character assessment or character judgment into this president and how he has helped to elevate this bastard Sharpton. Now, that in itself should tell you that there's something wrong with Obama's moral character to allow and to give support to this kind of scum, Sharpton. That's all I got to say. Stanley, I'm going to pass it over to you. And Rick, hold your thought about what you were talking about, which is ham radio related, because I want to hear it. I have to take a break and refill my coffee cup. So I'm going to let Stanley talk for a bit, and you can continue, and then wait till I come back before you start bringing up your ham radio story. But I shouldn't really want to control the conversation, so if you want to go ahead, go ahead. But Stanley, go ahead, it's yours.
Good for you.
KD8IUU with K1LEM on the side. KC2QYM.
Good evidence that it's really actually good for you in a lot of ways. So coffee isn't as bad as people have been saying for years, especially if you're older. K1LEM, Echo-Mike.
Yeah, let's not forget K1LEM's ham radio story that he's going to tell here. It's so easy to just...
I'm going to take a break there, Whit, and you can pick up the ham radio show when I come back. I just want to get coffee and take care of
Okay, make sure it happens. Now, let's see, just back to the story, though, of billing on the point you brought up, Whit, and then the one that regarding Obama and Sharpton. Okay, you brought up Sharpton, and then Peter linked Obama in, and I just wanted to point out something that actually demonstrates or provides evidence of that starts to answer the question that one of you raised. I don't know if it was you, Whit, or Peter raised this implied question here, and that is what about the connection between Obama and Sharpton? We obviously know Sharpton is a race baiter. He has a very good history of that in his failure of but he did race bait tremendously there in the St. Louis area, that town, can't remember the name of it now, and also did race bait before that in the case of the Trayvon Martin case, and and he even got the Republicans. He even got the Republicans to step in with their Attorney General Tom Bondi. Might as well be a male or female prostitute, the Attorney General there in Florida, a Republican of the Bush elk, okay, station KD8IUU for ID. So she stepped in to do interference even in the Trayvon Martin case to make sure the state interfered to try and brought charges against the guy who ultimately the facts themselves would acquit the guy. In that case. So we had very clear race baiting here, building up and agitating the black community of a racist agenda, like this Missouri thing. What is it? Don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. That mantra. Okay, that had no basis in fact whatsoever in the Missouri case, and the final analysis couldn't even be defended by Obama. But here's the point I wanted to make is, so here we have the connection between Sharpton and Obama. The very fact that neither Sharpton nor Obama, okay, Obama has certainly brought Sharpton to the White House as a consultant. After him, they sort of hired him as a prostitute for their liberal audience. Okay, we now have Obama having brought him in as a consultant to what department? The Department of Justice, that ended up failing to deliver Sharpton's agenda to indict the entire police department and all of and the policeman who shot this guy in Missouri. Okay, we had the absolute failure, but what do we have? We have the collusion of Obama and Sharpton. Neither one of them saying a word about the day-to-day gang violence of the hundreds of people that are killed every month in the streets. It's a blacks-on-black crime. Okay, not a word is being said about it, about those murders that are taking place in the streets all over Chicago. Okay, by either Sharpton or Obama. So that, therefore, there can't be anything wrong with that picture that needs correction, because the Justice Department needs to be investigating why it is the police of Chicago are not going against black-on-black crime, having nothing to do with race, but it's just crime. Okay, and so they have a very good reason in the Justice Department itself to go after the police in Chicago to stand by and do nothing. Okay, to stop this black-on-black crime. Okay, they have very justified reasons. The Obama administration does. I'm speaking parody speech here. Okay, because really it's a racist agenda that's being promoted that won't allow the police of Chicago that are over half, I think over about half of them, if not over half, are black. So there'd be no racial case there if the Chicago police moved in on black and black crime and started busting it up and making arrests. But no, that can't take place because Chicago is a liberal headquarters, okay, in the United States, and we can't, we just can't have justice take place by the Justice Department of the United States. So that's the place that needs investigation by the State Department. Why the police in Chicago sit there and do nothing on one gang versus another, and the fact that their skin color has nothing to do with a crime that they're committing in mass. That the Obama administration is just standing there and doing nothing with Al Sharpton and using this as a race baiting thing of blaming. Now they just need to put more money in for more welfare to cover more black street gangs. The street gangs obviously won't go to all of the basketball courts and community centers and stuff that have built them to keep them off the streets. They have no use for that. So it's just a pure criminal situation that the Justice Department won't move in on. Back to K1LEM. I don't know if Peter's back or not. KD8IUU.
Yeah. Okay, I'll wait to tell the ham radio story. Peter will chuckle when he hears this one. I know enough about, I don't know everything about Peter's personality, but I've talked to him long enough, so I know when he hears this one, he's going to chuckle.
I'm back. I'm ready to listen. Go ahead, KC2QYM.
It actually doesn't mean bust somebody in the face. It means smile.
I'm back, Wes.
But anyway, yes, Dan, yeah, you're right. Well, the truth of the matter is, I know how old you are. And you're basically, you're within less than half a year older than myself, younger than myself. I think you were born in, when were you born in 45? Was it December?
I'm back.
October.
Okay, so you're even closer to my age than I thought. You're within just months of my age. Okay, I'm going to tell you this funny story. I guess for about a half a year, I had been looking, Tom and I, we try to find a clear spot when we talk on this band. And I sort of lit here in the morning because I don't know, there's something about me in the morning. I need to get my file out, I guess. So I sit here, and I, of course, I like to talk to my dog-owning friend there, KB3MZQ, who, by the way, he's a very intelligent man. John, he's a retired biology teacher with lots of years in the public service out of Long Island, New York, just to let you know. So I'm not talking to just an ordinary person there when you talk to John. Any more than you're talking to an ordinary person when you talk to me. You can try to demean me if you want, but as I said, my credentials are printed up, they're not phony, and they're in my desk drawer. So people want to try to take away my credential. Okay, I don't cite it, and I don't flaunt it. But let's talk about something that it might be more, under the table about the W1IT. And we're even hearing this nonsense going around now about me. He lost his license for 10 years. And W1IT lost his license for 10 years. That's what he did. Nonsense. That's on EHAM. There's some idiot on EHAM that's, this is par and parcel, isn't it, to people that are ignorant and they don't even realize they're ignorant. They can't even do the reasonable amounts of research that they should be able to do with the internet. And they open their mouth, their mouth walks ahead of their brain every single time. For example, this is not the story I'm going to tell you guys. This is just something to let you know that when I talk about amateur radio and the kinds of people that are in it, I have some evidence. I'm not sitting here just festering away as an old birch tree that's about ready to keel over. I was looking for Tom, KB2OUA, after I got my call, the same day that I got the FCC notification on. Well, by the way, if you folks don't already know it, the FCC, if you do any business with them at all, change your address, change your call, renew your license, all these wonderful things. If you do it on an FRN number, they don't send you anything. All they're going to do is send you an electronic email, and they expect you to print that out. That's your record. And what you get is you get your license, and it goes over it. And of course, it looks just like an ordinary FCC license, right? But over it goes official copy, official copy. That's all you're going to get. They are not going to put something in the mail